Good afternoon. I was just reminded of another difficulty a little while ago, and just as I spoke, a usual particular same day who sneaks in the traffic sound. I don't like to say the word sneak, but they're from whatever the former family had done, and they're using a couple or a few of their same gays to interrupt from traffic sound, and it's really irritating. But anyway, I don't like to bore anybody about those kind of details. But a little while ago, one of them again interrupted me as I was using the computer to from traffic sound, saying the owls accusation. I think so. I think he might be really so egotistical that he has something to do with adjusting the AI of artificial intelligence to being owl, something else symptomatic of his abuse. So anyway, I was thinking about that, and I was reminded of a couple of tentative titles I had for messages, and one of them includes against being wrongly representative as being in a pulpit, and others that just simply interrupt and say the word priest about various matters. And as I spoke, sometimes anyone else present would somehow be hear them somehow be able to voice over and emphasize the words they want to say as you say them. So it is kind of a technical matter, and certainly there are probably some that are very callous and really don't care about the matter from other jurisdictions other than the United States. When they say the emphasis of priests, of course, they're being the same that like to interrupt at night, saying the Vatican and in the Vatican, and basically they aren't interested in whatever these opinions, concerns on behalf of the United States. Some of them have some uh, uh, agreement about some matters, but mostly they're of a secret agenda that really isn't so much for these concerns. And I remember one time years ago that they spread some rumoring. When there's in a Vatican kind of allegation, that there is some religious connotations about it, obviously. And years ago, one of the same, an old gay, one day got very angry about matters and described me as being on the wrong side of the ocean. And that's a matter of, the religious controversy and them being of an orientation that doesn't really favor the United States. So when I heard the usual gay interrupt me a while ago saying the owls accusation, it's that they start from a very callous kind of an abuse. It's very secretive. You don't know it at first, but they subverted through all of my life, having an orientation mostly from well, they emphasize Utah more these days, but previously it had been mostly Nebraska, where my father had been from, the Lincoln area. There has been a number of times through years where one of the old men alleging being official of the Catholic Church, would get into the broadcasting confusion to say an emphasis of Diocese of Lincoln. And as I mentioned in another message recently, that I had noticed some years ago that there had one time been an FBI audit against child abuse, and of all of the dioceses in the United States, only the Diocese of Lincoln had refused to participate, and I don't know if that resulted in any censures or anything, but if not, it should have. So anyway, those worries, pertaining to myself, is I obviously never had I never spread any rumors about myself being anyone other than myself. Pertaining to the Pope accusation, Christ arguments, whatever. But I did worry a lot. And so various rumoring and talk that occurred beginning way back in the early 80s ended up getting me to a kind of a day-to-day routine of the participants and my own individual initiative concerns. Um, Having to consider most every kind of matter. People in passing have even commented being aware of and hearing that I monitored about whatever I purchase in stores. Sometimes there's rich manipulating about food products. If I don't buy the same exact product after only a few days or a week or two or whatever, that something causes a packaging variation or they cause a discontinuation of a product. I just can't. I'm not going to try to elaborate all the details. It's just that there is a lot of rich pivoting on this by others that that they have a tremendous amount of resources, and one of their modes is very noticed on most days. It isn't quite as common now, but for a long time, very common and obvious is that usual gays that participate with the matter, with the harassment, is that they used store music systems. Whatever store I might happen to be in, that they had an ability, kind of like a monopoly of the music systems, to be able to interrupt and interfere and sing as though they're singing on behalf of me, saying the Pope argument, singing it over and over again, or the Marines, the Pope, or whatever. But I've already said I didn't agree about the Marine argument either. They're both have an origin of the abuse family, and the very secretive Al Hartman, who has been seen in the area occasionally, and he might have actually some official position here locally. But anyway, those matters were occurring in my life a long time before, and but on one particular day, I've noticed from reviewing drafts from earlier in 2009. I found that I encountered another worry because I had written a very nice little Christmas book that children around in the community and elsewhere had commented very nicely about. There's a lot of really cute commenting. As I said before, on one day I remember a lady driving a school bus had said that in school children talked about me as though I was another kid. It was really kind of extraordinary experience, and I'm always hoping for all the children being safe and with a lot of happy futures. But the person saying all the misrepresentation against me, saying the priest argument that comes from the gay argument, or the Al's, from the father who said insists that the gays participating in that argument insist that something was installed into me when I was very young, and that I was supposed to have grown up to be a gay like they are. The cousins that I had never known, etc. So anyway, one day in 2009, September of 2009, early one evening, I was outside when a young girl riding past in a car very concernedly said, aware of me because of the nice book and nice talk about me, said, "Your dad's coming." And I thought, oh, now somebody's interfering about this little book and saying, spreading a rumor, kind of maybe religious-oriented rumor of saying that my father is coming. He was born in Lincoln, Nebraska, way back in about, I don't know, 1933. I don't know what kind of upbringing he had, but when I was a kid, they took me to a Lutheran Sunday school. I liked it all right, but by the time I was maybe in about fifth grade, or fourth grade, I wasn't taking to church anymore. So anyway, then there was that sudden worry. Girls that a girl had heard a rumor. There was a lot of talk. But on the particular occasion, I was worried because I suddenly learned that there was another rumor pertaining to the father who was secretly stalking after staging his death when I was an 11-year-old. I'd been a pallbearer in the funeral. So anyway, I'm suddenly realizing that, and I'm worried, and I'm hoping the girl continues safely. And but then the next thing that happens is a car passes by, and young toughs are on the stereo really loud, chanting, rap-chanting. You know, I didn't specify. If I don't specify race, it means that they're white, or at least sound white. So it was from the family orientation, saying emphasis of priests again, chanting and rapping and saying the word priest, and then also saying an emphasis of your daddy. You know. So anyway, the indication was, I hope that they weren't aware of the cute detail that I wouldn't have wanted them to know anything about, but again emphasizing apparently Al Hartman. So, it was another worry because those same guys that get into the traffic saying house is they're always espousing intents and attitudes against girls in school. So anyway, when I hear day to day some of the others getting into traffic saying in the pulpit, or the Marines in the pulpit, or all those kind of assertions, is they portray themselves as representing me. But there wasn't any time that I ever agreed about them portraying themselves as representing me. So besides misrepresenting myself, is that they often espouse all kinds of intents and purposes, attitudes against our nation and our people. So anyway, like I've said before, I'm considering the possibility. I know there's a lot of adversity and it doesn't seem likely, but I'm considering the possibility of becoming a candidate for Congress in this district, 16th district, and with as much detailing as I can on behalf of the people, making more awareness that the opinions of others matter very much. And I just want to make sure that my opinions about some important matters are known rather than being so errantly misrepresented by a very callous abuse that doesn't really care if you'd ever even have shoes on your feet or pennies in your pocket. So anyway, uh, with that in mind, I'm gonna conclude this, and again remind that whatever all the ranting, rampaging others might be hearing at night, that it is an arrogant kind of argument and suppression that's focused at me personally, and I never agreed about it at all. And I'm really hoping that I will have something of a chance this year, and I want to just faithfully and with protective and caring concern represent the people nicely, and for there being a lot of good future.